I want to talk about some other things that have happened to me. I remember sitting at a dinner table. I'm having this like a romantic meal. There's a fire, and Archangel Michael comes up to the side of the table, and I'm with this person that I'm dating at the time, and we're having this meal, and we're talking. We're kind of like joking about maybe having kids. And Archangel comes right up to the side of the table, and he just openly says, "You will not be procreating with this one."
Oh my God.
And I was like,
That's hilarious.
"What?" And he's deadpan serious. Hello, everyone. Woo! We're going live in my group, Intuitive Angel Messages on Facebook. And I have a special guest joining me shortly, and that is Paul Milgis. And we're going to be talking about our unusual, interesting, funny stories that we have with spirit, that we have had with spirit. Okay. So these are the kinds of things that maybe people don't hear about. Maybe we basically just talk about, oh, this, that, and the other, but we don't talk about the really funny, detailed stuff that has happened to us. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I'm just adding Paul up live with me. He's here. He's saying hello. Yeah, so it's the type of stuff that you just don't expect. You don't anticipate. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
So, is it interesting to you as you've gone along on this path that it's not just cut and dry? It's not just there's a difference of what you thought it would be versus how it has been.
Oh yeah. How haven't we all had our expectations of what we think it's gonna be like, and then it's totally
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
And yeah, it's always surprising me here and
yeah,
there, but I'm less surprised now than I
yeah.
was at
Me
the
too.
beginning, you know?
Yeah, so true.
And I've noticed that at the beginning I was more serious. I thought I had to be more regimented with my
Mhm,
spiritual path,
mhm.
and things had to be done a certain way
Yeah,
for me to be able to meditate or connect or this or that. But it's not like that at all. There's
yeah,
no right and wrong. There's millions of ways to connect. There's infinite ways to connect with spirit, connect with the divine, to be spiritual in general. You don't have to put things in a box
yeah,
either.
yeah,
And yeah, it is. I love that we're doing this live because they always, the angels always surprise us in different ways.
yeah.
And yeah, yeah, and they can be pretty funny at times too, which is
Yeah.
something that I wasn't really accustomed to.
Not
And
expecting at all.
I think everyone really needs that in their life, needs some kind
Mhm.
of laughter, some kind of, it's very high vibrational to be able
Yeah.
to,
And
just take the light out of everything.
have you noticed when people come to you for readings that some of the time the angels that come through for some people are much more comical and humorous, and Other people, it's a little bit more serious and straight to the point. That's what was the most surprising part to me. I just thought it'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to channel the guidance. The guidance is what it is. But then there's like the jokes and the quips and the, like, I was not expecting that in the beginning.
Yeah, I like how they kind of poke fun at people a little bit, or like take the light out of things in people's lives, even if it's like a dark time that someone's going through. Like they will find a way to make fun of it. Like, and one of my friends, he's really good at doing that too. Is just like he kind of gets depressed sometimes, but he makes fun of himself or makes fun of different things in his life. Sometimes he's really good at that. I think that's important because you can't, even in the dark times, you can find the light. You can find some laughter, things like that. And yeah, I've noticed some people's angels are more direct, more serious. Some are more relaxed. They're chilling.
Yeah.
Some of them are more kind of giddy, like really excited to get down to business.
A lot more moving around and cracking jokes, some of them. I ask too why that is, and the response I get is some individuals need that extra light. They need to see the broader perspective of the light field aspects of their reality, even in the depths, if you want to say it like they do. Okay. And I remember saying to Agnes, I'm like, how come you're not as funny as, because I remember your guardian angel coming through and cracking jokes sometimes. I'm like, why are you as funny as Peter? And then she just smiled and, okay, took it on the chin. But then I noticed a couple times over the month after she'd try to crack a joke. I go, oh, that's refreshing. But maybe I need her to be a little bit more straight to the point and serious. I need her that way.
You already have too much laughter going on.
Yeah.
You already
like she needs to egg me on. Oh, jeez. She'd never get me to do stuff that's serious. I mean, if you think about really right from the get-go coming in on Earth, one of my soul, I remember it from a very early age. Have fun, frolic around, have more fun, laughter, playing around, goofing around, going out, and then you throw the alcohol onto that. It's like go out and party, go out and dance. So I don't think she really needed to crack jokes. I was a walking laughter machine. So for real. So I remember getting really worked up when I was going to go live on camera with a friend of mine about 5 years ago. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I just want you to know I'm going to go live. I'm not talking about da, 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 da. And Archangel Michael wouldn't say a word. And I knew he wanted me to talk about what we were going to talk about. And I'm like, are you listening to me? I'm not going to do it. And he would give me very minimal, and I knew he was really going to put me in the hot seat. And it was needed. It was needed not for necessarily even just for me, but for everyone to hear. And then right as I was going live, he looks at me and smiles, and he shows me him gently shoving me into the deep end of the pool and standing there and watching me go.
You're like, here we go.
And he was just like, push. And there I went. And off we went. And it was exactly what I didn't want. And nobody in the spirit world was wavering. Kristin's little ego can't handle it. We're still doing it anyways. They were unwavering. So I noticed you're a guardian angel. He's pretty laid back. He's cracks jokes all the time. So have you have you been surprised by that?
Yeah, no, I was pretty surprised by it. And yeah, I was like, at the start of my spiritual awakening, I was kind of like stressed about like, am I going on the right path? Like, what am I doing? Am I doing anything wrong? And they're just like all laid back and chill, like, yeah, we're just seeing how he takes things here on Earth. We're not really concerned about a spiritual path. We're just gonna seeing what he's just getting used to Earth. Okay, and I thought that was kind of funny. And also, my spirit guide, that's a blue avian, Benjamin. He's pretty funny too. He's real like he gets up in your face like that too with his like with his beak and stuff, and he's like flittering all around and like and it's just it's funny like that because I'm sort of like that too, and my humor's like that. Like I like when I was especially more when I was younger, I would like bounce around and like jump around and like run around the house and like go do like stuff like that, and I just thought that was being super hyper.
Yeah.
I think people when I was a kid they used to call me Spaz Case a little bit. I was kind of a spaz, and that's just it was always kind of funny to me like to be like that.
Yeah, I'm like, that kind of the shoe fits for me a little bit right now, so I'm not even gonna argue. But you know what I noticed with when we've had conversations and we've been and we've spoken with spirit, I noticed like your lifetime here is a lot of okay, just getting adjusted, just getting used to this. Okay, we'll just see how it goes with him. And it's like, well, and it's so cash. It's like, well, we'll just see how things go. You can have kids or not, or whatever, Paul. You go ahead and, just enjoy. Go, here's your pina colada while you're sauntering there on the, you know what I mean? It's very laid back as to what path or paths you're going to take in the future. Whereas with me, it's well, come on now, you've been here long enough, and we should probably get you up and going now to go help the masses. Like it's a little bit more like shoving me out the door and putting me in hot seat situations where I'm uncomfortable and just see how I do. How do I do with other people's opinions of me, and how do I do when I'm presented with channeling certain guidance on camera that I'm not comfortable with entirely once in a blue moon, and how do I do when Archangel Michael opens up right in front of my face and affects my body and makes me cry my eyes out on camera, and then I come out of my bedroom and he's kind of chuckling. I'm like, are you laughing? And he's like, yeah, they needed to see that. They needed to see how I feel for them through you. I'm like, and it was totally off the cuff. Was not expecting it. That's the other thing. A lot of surprises.
What I've noticed is, everyone's at a different level here on Earth, and what do you want to say, level? Or everyone's. One thing I like that Loris Cannon said. I watched a video of her recently, and she was saying, Earth is like a school. And you're going through levels. And if you don't pass on the levels, you just go back and take it again. There's no judgment there. You just go back and take the level again, or the class again.
Taking it again.
And she was saying Earth is kind of a longer school, so it's not like you need to be rushed through anything. You can just go back and take the class again, and there's no judgment there. And when you get to a certain point, I bet the angels are like, okay, now it's time for you to take this one, Kristen. Okay, now it's that. Or also with you, I feel like it's more of a necessity too. If you can't, when you get this sensitive, it's hard for people to work certain jobs or certain jobs like that, and it's better for them to follow some sort of spiritual path a lot of the time. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it's been quite the journey. I've written down some of the things that has really made me laugh over the years. Anytime that I'm taking on too much and I'm doing too much in life and I'm taking life too seriously, and I look over at my guardian angel and she'll be juggling balls up in the air. And I'm like, are you juggling? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, why are you juggling? And then as soon as I say it, it comes right to me that she's showing me that I'm taking on too much. And I need to just take a beat, step back. And then she smiles at me. So she's trying to get me to see it with lightheartedness and that I need to like chill out. She's done that twice.
That's helpful to know. Because you can really overwork yourself
Yeah.
on doing these things with channeling and stuff like that. People don't realize
Yeah, they
how
do.
much, energy it takes to like channel these beings all the time, and it's like it's kind of exhausting.
It can be very tiring. It is a battery that you are using. You are connecting your energy with these high vibrational, at times multidimensional beings, and it can drain your battery. And that's something that's really important, is to ground our energy often if we're channeling. And, if you need to lay down, have a nap, or go to bed early, sleep longer. And in the beginning, it's really imperative to do that. As you build stamina and you practice more and more, and you get more acclimatized, if you want to say, and you get more adjusted and used to it, then you can channel uh, longer, more often. But I still cannot cross uh, a line. And if I do, I can burn my energy out. And I've done it 3 times in my past. So I choose not to do that, because then once I do that, I'm tired when I go to bed. I'm tired when I get up. I'm tired. Like, it's like my energy is just not there for about a week.
Yeah.
So I have to watch it. So yeah, it's really, it's a special time, a special moment to offer a reading, because there's only so much energy that we have to offer to give these readings. Where can people find you, Paul?
Well, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Paul Milgus, and
Mhm.
for a reading, you can go to my Facebook business page. But if you can't find that, you can also just email me or message me on Instagram or on Facebook if you would
Click
like your reading. And the funny thing is that we're on this topic, and we don't usually answer people when they want this like free guidance or questions, because we are already like taking on so much. We're already, so we can't answer everyone. So if you want to book a reading, that's how you're going to get the guidance, because we don't give our energy away
on.
for free either. Only, of course, we give samplings here in these lives and stuff. We love to help all of you, but at the end of the day, we can only give so much. Our energy is an energy exchange. So that's one thing I would like to
Literally, literally an energy exchange. Okay, so I want to talk about some of the things that have happened to me. I remember sitting at a dinner table. I'm having this like a romantic meal. There's a fire, and Archangel Michael comes up to the side of the table, and I'm with this person that I'm dating at the time, and we're having this meal, and we're talking. We're kind of like joking about maybe having kids, and Archangel Michael comes right up to the side of the table, and he just openly says, "You will not be procreating with this one."
Oh my god,
And I was like,
that's hilarious.
what? And he's deadpan serious. And I was like, okay, there. But yeah, so sometimes they'll just intervene and let you know what's what in the moment. Like, we're not doing that. And I was like, okay, sir, can I enjoy my meal? And of course, then I just cut the conversation and didn't go there anymore. I was like, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
another time, a friend of mine was going to go out for her regular jog. She's going to go out jogging in New York State, and Archangel Michael shows up, and he's pulling these like wristbands on that are kind of, a little bit furry. And then he puts his little headband on, and he's got these little short shorts, and he's going to go for a run with her. And he's basically dressing like Gene Simmons,
Oh my
the
god.
guy that does the exercise videos with the headband and little short shorts. So he'll do stuff like that, and it'll just like totally crack you up. She was laughing so hard. She said he kept up with her and jogged the whole route with her as Gene Simmons. I'd imagine that must have been kind of tough for her to keep composure jogging around the neighborhood with Archangel Michael like that. I said, "How was the run?" He was there the whole time. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, Archangel Michael, he has quite the sense of humor, doesn't he? Compared to some of the, I
Yeah.
know Archangel Metatron doesn't have the same kind of humor that he does, but I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and maybe I wonder why Archangel Michael is more humorous. Maybe it's because he is centrally focused on Earth. He does see how we operate. Maybe that's just kind of how his energy is built. He enjoys cracking some. You know, I'm sure he has to deal with some really serious things, or more serious, or more whatever we want to say serious is things. So it's a nice evening out to be humorous as well. Uh, another time, I said to my male guardian angel, I said, "Well, why aren't you stepping forward?" And he said, "Because you're on your life's path. Okay, you're fulfilling your life's purpose." It's almost like he doesn't have much to help me with right now, other than maybe assisting my other guardian angel, because this purpose is to help me fulfill my life's purpose, what my soul signed up for, right? And so I'm talking with Ashley Cunningham. I said, what is my guardian angel doing?" And she's like, "He's knitting in a back alleyway with pink yarn." I go, "That's what I see too." Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
god.
It's like he's trying to make you laugh. He's like knitting with this pink yarn. And it's almost like he's pretending like he's bored because he has nothing to help me with. Oh my God, we laughed so hard. He said, "I cannot believe we're both seeing the same thing at the same time in such detail." And she's like, "Yeah." She said it was really funny.
My job's really easy over here.
"I'm just
Just
gonna
chilling
knit you a
out.
sweater, maybe a little toque."
It's funny how they like. It's pretty cool how they intervene when, like you said, in certain ways in people's lives. Oh, you shall not procreate with this one, or you shall, or things, just funny things like that. But they intervene because we ask for them to. You
Mm-hmm.
know, what's the best? We like if you don't ask them to help you in your life, they kind of stand back a little bit more. Unless something's like really serious, they'll probably come forward. But with the free will here on Earth, you need to ask them to help you with your life. And once you have that discourse with them, once you ask them to help you, then they start to get moving. And when you're making certain decisions, important decisions, or you're here and there, they're gonna intervene and help you with that, because they're not gonna let you just throw everything away in one one decision, you know.
Well, and I suppose they're if you do ask them to assist you, which I have asked them that. I remember being like 17 years ago saying, "Please help me in all areas of my life," because up till that point, I was making some wrong choices. And my picker was off, and not only that, but I was just kind of banging around out there. So the decisions I was making weren't always best for me, and I was tired of the bumpy ride. I was tired of the friggin' bumpy ride. Okay, so let's get off this merry-go-round. So once you ask that, then they'll step forward during pivotal moments and in general, helping you behind the scene of your life. But they'll step forward and assist you and direct you because you're on the track of making another decision that's going to make life a lot harder for you.
Yeah.
So, like, you did ask us to help you make life easier, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and sometimes it does depend on what like age you are. I think they'll allow you to make certain mistakes earlier on sometimes, but then when you try to get away with it later on, they're not gonna be the
yeah,
same, because you're supposed to like learn from these. And also, I learned that there's consequences to the things that I do, whether it was smoking weed or things like that. They would allow certain
yeah.
energies to come into my space because I was lowering my vibration so much.
Mhm.
So
And how do
that was one of the
they get us
consequences.
to stop?
And
If our body, if our body's healthy and well, and we can just, some people have a really healthy body and they could just be abuse the heck out of their body right to the nth degree, and then you ask spirit to help you, and then, oh, surprise, surprise, they're going to bring in energies to make you stop.
yeah, yeah, for other people that might not be as bad, or that might be okay for them to do marijuana or something. But for my body, it's very sensitive and it can't take that. So in that case, that actually helped me like open up more, you know, in my awakening, because I was like, okay, well, I can't do what everyone else is doing, just drinking and smoking or whatever. I got to do something else.
And then that might be difficult in certain stages of your life where you're like in your 20s and everybody else is doing this, that, and the other, but you can't. You literally can't. And I suppose as we move along, and we're all going to move on this path of ascending here on Earth. If you're on Earth, we're ascending. P.S. You're going to have changes happening to you, to your energy, to your body. Yeah, I've always talked about this, like foods you can't eat anymore, people you can't hang out with anymore. And this is actually a topic that I'm going to be talking about this Monday, coming up in my group in the morning. And the topic is what's going to happen to your body as we infuse more light through it and into it.
We will disappear and go to the new Earth.
Way! I'm leaving.
Bye.
Peace out. But there will be changes that will be happening. And last I checked, we're still going to be here. But it's funny. People are like, no, we're just going to disappear into 5D, and then you're going to, and more like you're going to disappear from the lower vibrational people that you used to hang out with, family, friends, and otherwise. They probably won't see you anymore. So technically you disappeared. You know, you just don't want to hang out with them anymore. So technically you're not around anymore. Faith is saying, Archangel Michael has shown himself to me as sitting by my front door reading the newspaper as the spiritual bouncer in her house. For anybody who doesn't know this, you can ask Archangel Michael to move into your home. One of the best things I ever did. Has been awesome. And he just kind of watches over things and makes sure that energies are behaving, etc. And he's just a wonderful asset to your team.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed that he's helped me when I am around situations where around lower vibrational people. He'll help stabilize my energy, ground my energy. And also, one other funny thing that I was thought about was when I'm hanging out with some of my old friends. None of them are really spiritual. So when I'm hanging out with them, the angels will come in, a different one, like either Peter or Archangel Michael, and they'll kind of egg me on a little bit. And so that I'll talk about the angels in front of them or talk about spiritual stuff in front of them, because it actually brings that energy to the surface, and it also creates a lot of laughter. I'll be like, oh my God, my third eye is just so open right now, like as a joke, you know, and my friends, they think that's funny. And I'll sometimes I'll be like, yeah, well, the angels told me the world's gonna end or something like that.
You goof off with that.
Different things like that. I'll pretend like that, and then they'll actually end up being a little bit curious about it, you know. And like it brings that energy of the angels to the surface around us, and it actually makes it easier for me to be around them or in that energy, because they're not really spiritual. It's a different, you know, vibrational frequency, but they're open enough to understand it a little bit. A lot of my generation, which is kind of cool.
They'll like ask you, do they ask you like, you know, questions about?
Yeah, my friend the other day was asking me about his third eye. How can he open his third eye? And I thought that was kind of humorous, because when we all hang out, I'm making fun of myself too, but we're all making fun of me. But then at the end of the day, they're the ones that are coming. They're coming for advice sometimes, which is funny, and I think it's really cool. And that's one way that you can bring the angels to the surface around people that aren't necessarily awake. I think is pretty cool, but yeah, it's awesome.
So I've got a question here from Ida about her chakras, and she feels as though they're being blocked. So I would ask, have you asked for your chakra centers to be replaced? That would be the first thing you would probably do.
Yeah, literally the other day, my friend asked me, how do I open my third eye? I was like, well, knowing him, he's a little bit more up in his head a little bit more. Maybe it might benefit him to focus more on the heart chakra, or or grounding on the root chakra or something. And as you do that, that really opened up everything for me. Once I did that, once I got more grounded, this is not gonna open up if we're really ungrounded a lot of the time, because we're not ready for that. But if we're more coming from a stable place, from a more grounded place, everything's going to open up a little bit more. So I thought that was cool.
I'm just going to listen in because the energy is pressing in on my right here. Feel like it's Ida's team. They don't want you to overthink things. You can ask to have your chakras replaced as often as you wish. Ground your energy more often. Okay, so grounding your energy. I mean, we can clear our chakras if we want to, but if you've had a lot of stress going on, or you know, things happening in your life that are extremely major, and you know, maybe this carried on for years, then we may want to, what I say to them is, please replace my chakras when they need to be replaced. Thank you. So then it's just something that's being done when I'm laying down and resting. Anything else? They're talking about you being up in your head a lot, and they're pointing to your head, and they want you to just relax and ground your energy. And so that's that. We don't need to overthink things or overanalyze things. They're also talking about you're not blocked. What they're saying is, so why is she feeling that way then? They're saying you're up in your head and you're overthinking things, overanalyzing things. But you know, we've had a lot of solar flares, right? You know, we've had a lot of light confused. You know that we're having maybe times where it's not as easy to sleep at night, overheating, excessive active mind,
anxiety.
Okay. We might have like heat, a lot of energy maybe coming through the palm of the hands or the feet. So, and this is going to be picking up hardcore by the end of this year. So if you want to like enjoy the summer as best as you can, and then by the fall, it's going to be hunkering down, slowing down, anchoring more light, longer periods of ascension waves coming in for a week at a time.
Enjoying the present moment is very important, I think, and that's a good mantra just to say. So like, this is the only moment that's real. This is the only moment that matters right now. And if you try to go say that a few times per day, that's going to bring you more
into the
present moment.
Help ground you.
Yeah.
We're also talking about sometimes when we get so active in our mind and we're overthinking, overanalyzing, that can create stress in the body and a overwhelming feeling of not feeling well. So that's one thing that they're saying, is that when we're overactive, like we're worried about this and we're worried about that, and we're, you know, like how much can your body take you worrying? Like at some point your body is going to kick back and you're going to notice. It's funny, we talk about, oh, well, what are you eating and are you exercising? But, you know, what are you thinking on a regular basis that's creating this response in your body energetically? Overload, indeed. So are there any other moments that have surprised you with spirit coming forth?
Oh, let me think.
It's been quite a ride, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. One of the things that I thought that was pretty cool is the way that my humor is, and without much ego, I'm able to make fun of myself, make light of things, poke fun at other people, and egg people on and things, and just keep people going and egging people on. And that's one thing that I was surprised that Nikola Tesla came forward, and he was like, I actually like the way that you express your humor. He's like, I actually learn from you some that I want to actually be like this a little bit more when I am incarnated on Earth, is have that similar type of lightheartedness or humor about things, because that's really important on Earth.
That is so cool. It's really cool. Like, I'll have my grandma come in and have a word with me. Then I'm watching, a documentary with Olympia Dukakis. She's having a chat with me. I actually have to be careful about what I'm watching on TV because the energy that's coming through that program can affect you. It can affect you energetically, and so I was thinking, I wonder if Olympia is going to come and have a word. But I thought, oh well, I'll just watch. I was just more interested in the documentary, yada yada. And then she was right there at the very end having a chat with me. But it's usually to help me with what's going on in my life and then talk a little bit about themselves. But it's all about us. They're here to help us while we're still here in our physical vessels. But if I go and put on a paranormal program, oh, Jesus shows up and asks me to turn it off. It's just going to tank your frequency, the energies that can influence you through that program. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's just not. And if you are going to watch programs like that, well, then you might just have a chat with your spiritual bouncer who's living in your house to shield the TV. Might be best, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of
But
funny, I think Eric, he's a pretty funny
oh yeah,
soul to come through and channel. If you want looking for a laugh, just go to Kristins videos on channeling Eric, and
yeah,
that's hilarious. That is pretty funny.
hilarious.
Oh, I remember the one that you did on Halloween a long time ago. That
Oh my
was just
gosh,
hilarious the way he was coming in that one. I forgot how he came in, but that was hilarious.
it was so funny, and he like kind of razzed me a bit to get me ramped up, and I was like, ah! Didn't take much. And then he wanted me to talk about what is the difference between ghosts and it was ghosts and earthbound souls and anyways, it was three different things. And then he was like right in there and like you could tell like he just loves this stuff. Like he just loves it. Like he'll flick a container off your counter. He'll make your lights flicker. He knows when you're nice and relaxed on the toilet, and then he'll start chatting you up while you're in the bathroom. Uh, One time I remember bending over to pick something up, and he really was like, "Oh, look at that ass," and I was like, "Well, nobody else was in the house. I was the only one bending over." And I put him in his place. I said, "Don't you ever speak to me like that, ever." And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah, you gotta hold boundaries.
You do have to hold boundaries, but you have to hold boundaries with people too. You got to hold
Yeah,
boundaries with people too. It's no different,
yeah,
right? It's like spirit needs you to hold boundaries. You need to hold boundaries with spirit too.
yeah.
And
And
I think that's
some
a good practice in self-love.
some people they say they're scared of negative, energies, negative entities like that, and things like that. But they don't realize that the people in their lives they're acting the same or similar as those type of energies. It doesn't matter whether it's in spirit or whether it's in person. And there could be a narcissistic person in your life, and that is no different than a negative energy
Drains your
that could be on the
battery.
other side. So you have to hold boundaries with both. That's why I'm not scared of spirit, or honestly, I think I'm less scared than spirit than actual people, because with spirit, all you have to do is say, "Oh, I don't want you in my space," and they're gone. With normal people, it's like, okay, gotta move around them. They're actually right there.
I
they're
can't
they're
get them
here
out of my
incarnated
house. I'm
here.
having a house party and they won't leave.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine saying that her neighbor across the street, every time she would roll up to her house, her neighbor would be like, "Hi, hi, how are you? Hi." And she was like, "Okay, yeah." And then they would have these house parties, and the neighbor would come over with her husband and basically kind of wanted to maybe have an exchange of more physical contact, shall we say, like in the bedroom. And they're like, no, we're good. And then calling her, calling her, calling her, calling her, calling her, like 20 times a day. Finally had to tell her, please stop calling me. As soon as she put the phone down, she's calling her again. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my.
So she literally picks up the phone and she then took off her blue life color hat and gave it to her on the phone and told her off. And then her husband called to talk with her husband and say, your wife just lit my wife off. And yeah, they didn't call anymore or harass them anymore. But, you know, at some point, you've got to hold boundaries with people. They just don't get it. You teach others how to treat you, essentially, in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, one thing I've noticed along my path is when you have that level of self-respect, that self-confidence, and self-love, people don't try it on with you anymore. They know better. Not they don't. You don't even attract those type of people in your life anymore. So it's and you can
Yeah.
just move on. You don't hang on to relationships as long either. So you're able to just move on and go to a different person or something.
It's like the same thing with spirit. You're just not going to attract in the lower vibrational frequencies. Why would they want to have anything to do with you? It's the same with people. They're not attracted into your life. You don't have them come around. You just don't have people and or spirit around to get rid of because you're vibrating at a different frequency. You see, it's not about the smudging and the saging and the and it's about shifting your frequency. Okay, because you can go and do that, and if you do need to do that, then do that. But ultimately, in the end, if you're still going to be dragging your feet through life in the gutter, you got a low vibrational frequency that needs to, well, if you want to shift it. I mean, I've been in stages of my life where I was perfectly fine being in the gutter for about a year. I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine being here. This is just where I'm going to be for a while. And the angels just, yeah, okay. That's where she wants to be for a while. Just let her be there. But ultimately, to go your whole lifespan like that, oof, then other people are probably having boundaries with you. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
I think Spirit wants to channel something through me
Oh,
in a minute. But what were you going to say?
well, I was just going to see if anybody has any questions about this topic that we were discussing or any stories. That would be great to hear too.
Yeah,
Anytime you.
I remember that story you told me about in one of your readings that someone put like a big crystal under someone's bed or something, and then to transmute the energy of them or something, like a
Yeah,
massive crystal,
they
like a big
snuck it
crystal.
under there. They're like, ooh, we gotta lift this person's frequency, and they shoved a big crystal up under their bed.
That's hilarious. They probably took all the energy and put it down into the earth through the other crystal. That's cool.
There have been times where I know where I'm going, like I'm going over to a friend's house, and then I'll send my team there ahead of time to make it more enjoyable for me, so I don't have to sit there. But usually, if I have to do that, it's also a sign that I'm probably not going to be friends with those people much longer. Because it's not enjoyable for me to be there and I have to send my team there. So probably not going to be around them much longer. And that's usually what ends up happening. Hello. So let's see what spirit would like to channel on this topic.
Okay.
You go ahead first and
Okay.
then I'll see what would like to come through.
I feel like it's Archangel Michael. He's asking us a question. He's like, "Did you come to Earth to not have fun?"
They say that a lot during my readings. You came here to be miserable the whole time? I don't think so.
So, life is meant to be joyous. It's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be hard for some people, I guess. But he's more talking about like relationships in general. They're meant to be joyous. They're meant to be fun. Everyone deserves to have these relationships that are more high vibrational. he's also talking about something that I was thinking about the other day, is that, marriages, when people say marriages are really hard and you have to work on them, they're just so hard. I was like, is it really, should it be really hard, to be in a relationship like that? I don't think it needs to be like that all the time. I think it can be more freeing, more loving, more joyous. And also, he's bringing up something that Connor said the other day. Connor, if you ever know his YouTube channel, Connor Talks, he was saying that relationships don't necessarily need to be, if they're hard all the time, if you have to like make so much effort to be put into a relationship, you don't necessarily need to be in that relationship anymore. It shouldn't be like that. It should be more effortless, easy, and fun,
Yeah, he was hanging out with his friends and he was just like having a hard time kind of feeling like he fit in or associating with them. And he's like, it shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah. He's smiling and he's saying, notice that you have us as friends as well. You can talk to us if you don't have many people to talk to. And he's also saying we can bring more people into your life that are more joyous, happier, that have that light within them, that humor. And he's saying there's always lessons that can be learned. There's always people that can be brought into our life for certain lessons. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're supposed to be in our life forever.
Yeah.
He's saying, in fact, most people aren't meant to be in our life forever. He's likening it to, so do you want to stay with the same person or same people, around the same people your entire lifetime and never really evolve? Or do you want to be around other people that are different, are better for your spiritual growth later on? You're going to change over time. Everyone changes in different ways. Or maybe it could be like you and your friend both, raise in vibration together. That's one thing.
That's one option, yeah.
But usually that doesn't happen, I don't think.
No.
It's like he's saying people on the spiritual path, they are advancing so fast that it's hard for them sometimes to be able to settle down with certain friends or certain people. It's difficult, and they feel more alone or isolated. But he's saying that's part of the spiritual path, learning and mastering that. It's not about aloneness. That feeling of aloneness is a big one on Earth, and that people just hang around people that are not good for them, even know that they, just because they feel alone, instead of knowing that they deserve better. But yeah. But he's finishing it off, and he's like, it's okay, go about your day. He's saying, just notice where you place your attention, what you want in your life, what do you want to manifest. These are things that everyone should be taught how to do. Everyone should know how to do, where to place their focus upon. Mm-hmm. He's like, train that brain of yours. It's a little active, but you got to train it, just like anything else, just like any other skill. And he's saying life will be much easier, much more lifting for you once you do this.
Yeah, if I go off the deep end in certain low vibrational thoughts, you think my team is just going to sit back and just let me go there repeatedly? No, they help me train my brain, like you said. They help to redirect my thoughts, let go of the depths. Okay, and if it keeps reoccurring, then I need to delve into a little bit more. Okay, but if it's just a repetitive tape pattern that I chronically, then I need to shift my attention. Okay, so let's see if I pick up on anything. No, they're saying that that's all that they wanted to say was through Paul. So that is that. I love that message.
Yeah, I was actually listening to this bodybuilder the other day. He was like, he's getting a little bit older, and he noticed that when he's in a bad mood, that it usually comes from a negative thought, a few back, and it kind of
Mhm.
keeps progressing. So he
Yeah,
says every time he has like a really negative thought about himself in general or his life, he finishes it off with a good positive one every single time.
it can't
So
perpetuate.
over time, that
Right.
makes you just noticing that right there is huge, and being that mindful that you're even having those negative thoughts, that is freaking massive. So then once you get to that space and you keep training your brain to think more positive ones, you're going to have like 90%, 90 something percent more positive thoughts throughout the day. Or when you have a negative thought, it's not even like you don't even notice it and you don't feed it. You don't feed that thought anymore. It doesn't become a bad mood usually. It's just there, pass it on by. You get tired of like feeding into these negative thoughts about yourself. Like,
Oh yeah.
the earth tells you that there's people on this earth, or society tells you that people aren't good enough, you're not doing enough, you're this or that. But at the end of the day, like, you got to just change things around. Can't be like
Yeah.
that all the time.
No. I love that that message. I remember Elon Musk saying this. Life can't be about you waking up and focusing on problems, resolving problems, dealing with things that aren't working out. You can't keep focusing day after day like that. You can't live life like that, because then you're not thriving and enjoying life. So,
There's no excitement.
there's no excitement. It's all flatlined. It's just a sad groundhog day after one day after another. So it's really important to focus on the things that you're excited about in the world, and what are you what are you ready to focus your energy and attention on, that's going to bring you a lot of joy and happiness. Because if you keep focusing out there on this, that, and the other, it's just going to be one long day after another. And it's all about managing our energy, managing our frequency. That's really
Yeah,
important.
I'm not saying, oh, go quit your job you don't like and go live an exciting life and just be homeless or something. I'm not saying that. We're saying, okay,
Or
it starts
on the
off at a
street.
certain place. So at a
Yeah.
certain point, you're going to be, going to your job. Then after work, you're going to be doing something that's more exciting, or even something that you're passionate about. And over time, the scale starts to tip. You're kind of living a double life. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
this thing that I'm passionate about, like, excited about, I think I can actually do this for a living, or I might be able to find some way where I can do this more often. And this other thing over here gets smaller and smaller, and then your 3D reality is aligning with who you are, and not the society that has been handed to you, or this old paradigm. It is based on who you are in the end. That's
That's
pretty
actually
cool.
what happened to me in my life. I was
Yeah,
doing I was doing readings, courses. I was doing, really on the side of what I was doing for a living, and then the scale tipped, and next thing you know, I remember sitting on the beach on a Tuesday in the nice sun and looking around and noticing that there were several people on the beach just hanging out midday, and I thought to myself, do they not work? And I remember sitting there thinking, oh man, I've made it. This is it. This is time freedom right now. I get to work when I want to work. I have financial freedom, time freedom. This is it. I've made it. Because at that point, Source, I said, when it's time for me to quit, this cleaning company let me know, and I quit. And the day came. And I remember it being at the end of April 5 years ago. And then, it was, I think, a month or two down the road, and I remember sitting on the beach midday for the first time in my life, like, wow, this is amazing. How awesome is this? So the more we focus in on what we appreciate, the more we create that experience.
yeah. I always say sometimes it is quite difficult being this sensitive that we are, Your Honor. It's quite difficult at times. We
Yeah.
can't do a lot of things that other people do, but in a way, it's almost a blessing, because early on in my life, when everyone's like, oh, go to college, go to college, go to college, I just couldn't do it. my
No,
heart
either
closed up. I was so sensitive,
me
and
too. I got
I
in my
was listening
chest.
to what I was. If it doesn't feel good to you like that, then it's not you. You shouldn't probably go that direction. That's the old paradigm. That's every other person's shit almost that they're throwing at you. This like anxiety and all this
People like
stuff.
ignore that feeling, and I'm like, you better listen to that feeling because it's trying to guide you. It's trying to teach you. It's trying to show you something, man. Like, pay attention.
Yeah,
But
one of my friends was like, "Yeah, I went to school just to please my parents."
yeah,
Basically, that's what I've realized, and I
all
was like,
that money just to please your
"Oh,
parents.
well." And he was kind of sad about it. I was like, "Well, it's good that you realize that now, and that you can go forth in your life, and now you don't
And
have
there is
to please. Now you don't have to please your parents anymore. So what else are you gonna do now?"
yeah, exactly. You don't have to please your parents anymore. Now you've done it, and now you can go on to the next thing that you want to do. Well, I have to go. I've got work that's coming here, and I don't want to be late. If
Oh
anybody
yeah,
would like to schedule a reading with either one of us, we are available. I believe your sessions are how much per?
$100.
Yep, $100, and I'm at 125. If anyone would like to schedule a reading, it's recorded and emailed to you. And also, the Mediumship for Beginners course is coming up on June 15th until the
That's
29th.
exciting. Yeah.
All three of us are going to have a good time. Party time, you and Beth. So if anyone would like to join that, you can check out KristinDaviesMedium.com. Okay? You guys have an
All
awesome
right.
weekend. I'll see you Monday.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
Bye everyone.
Such inspirational guidance. Love it. Bye.